Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most popular houseplants on the planet, the spider plant. You've definitely seen them around. They're kind of famous for being, well, practically unkillable. That makes them perfect whether you've got a green thumb or you're just getting started. So, let me ask you this. Are you looking for a plant that looks great, but is also super low maintenance? One that adds all this life to your room but doesn't demand a whole lot in return? If so, you're in the right place. All right, let's get into why we're calling the spider plant, or Chlorophytum comosum if you want to get all scientific, the ultimate starter plant. Believe me, it has earned that title. So what's the big deal? Well, first off, they are ridiculously easy to care for. They look fantastic in hanging baskets, just letting their leaves cascade down. And here's a big one for all you pet owners out there. They're completely safe for cats and dogs. But honestly, the best part has to be that they're constantly making new baby plants for you for free. Okay, so you're ready to bring one home. Now what? How do you keep it happy and thriving? It's actually way simpler than you'd think. It all just boils down to 3 golden rules. Rule number 1 is light. You want to think bright but indirect. A spot near a window is great, but you don't want the sun beating directly down on it, because that will literally scorch the leaves. They'd much rather have a little bit of shade than a sunburn. Second, let's talk about water. Your goal here is to keep the soil consistently moist, but you never want it to be a soggy mess. And here's a little pro tip. Spider plants can be kind of sensitive to the chemicals in regular tap water, like chlorine. If you start seeing brown tips on the leaves, try switching to rainwater or distilled water. It makes a world of difference. And the third rule? Soil. Seriously, don't overthink this one. Any standard all-purpose potting mix that drains well is going to be perfect. You just want to make sure the roots aren't sitting in a puddle, which helps prevent any rot. Now, a quick word about feeding your plant. During the growing seasons, spring and summer, a little all-purpose fertilizer once a month is great. But it's a bit of a balancing act. If you give it too much, you'll see those brown leaf tips. Too little, and the growth might be a bit slow and weak. The plant will totally show you what it needs.
All right, now we get to what is, in my opinion, the absolute best part of owning a spider plant: making more of them. This is how you get that endless supply of free plants I was talking about.
And it could not be easier, I promise. You just wait for those little babies, or plantlets, to start growing their own tiny roots. Then you just carefully snip them off, pop the little plantlet on top of some moist soil and a small pot, just barely cover those roots, and keep it watered. That's it. It'll start growing on its own in no time.
So this leads to a question that people ask all the time. Is it actually a good idea to cut those babies off, or should you just leave them hanging there?
The answer is a big, resounding yes. You should absolutely cut them off. And you're not hurting the plant, you're helping it. Think about it. All those babies are taking up energy from the main plant. When you prune them, the mother plant can redirect all that energy back into its own leaves and roots, making it fuller and healthier.
Look, even the most bulletproof plant can have a bad day. But don't you worry. Any problem you might run into with a spider plant is almost always a super easy fix. So here's your quick troubleshooting guide.
Let's run through the common stuff real quick. Got those brown tips? Again, that's probably your tap water. Are whole leaves turning brown? You might want to ease up on the fertilizer or check that you're not overwatering. And if your plant just looks a little sad and sparse, it might be what we call root bound. That just means it needs a slightly bigger pot to live in.
Okay, so we have to talk about the big one. The claim that spider plants are these miracle air purifiers. This whole idea blew up because of a famous NASA study. But the truth about how that applies to our homes is a little different.
So back in 1989, NASA did this clean air study. And yes, it found that spider plants were great at removing pollutants from the air. But, and this is a huge but, they did it in a completely sealed chamber. So the real question is, how many plants would you need to get that same effect in your actual house?
Well, based on the math from that study, the answer is a pretty wild 70. No, you heard me right. You'd need about 70 spider plants to really purify the air in an average-sized home. Our houses just aren't sealed labs. We have air moving in and out all the time. So while your plant definitely doesn't hurt, if you're serious about air quality, a good air purifier is going to be way more effective.
But you know what? Who cares about the air purification thing? Because the real magic of a spider plant is how long it can live. A happy, healthy plant can literally last for decades. They become these living heirlooms, getting passed down from one generation to the next. How cool is that?
So there you have it.
You're now equipped with everything you need to know to grow an amazing spider plant and a whole jungle of its babies. The only thing left to figure out is, what are you going to do with all of them?